Hello and good morning to everyone. Thank you for coming to our sessions, which is focused on the theoretical aspect of first order and second order relational analysis. The first speaker is Mufad from Wayne State University, and the title of talk is Non-Relational Complexity. Please go.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Please allow me to express my sincere gratitude to the organizer, also Japan and also African Saturday, and all the participants for being here today. It's my great honor to be here to have presentation in this conference. Today, I would like to talk about the variational complexities of functions and variational sufficiency in optimization. This talk is based on the joint work with Dr. Phạm Duy Khánh and Boris Mulukut. Who is my advisor in West State University. So the talk will be my talk will be divided into 5 parts. First of all, I will talk about the local complexity reduction and the variational complex functions. Why do we need the variational complex function in optimizations and variational analysis? Second, I will recall some tool of variational analysis which will be used to investigate the variational complexity, and after that, I will use module envelopes and coderivatives to study about the variational complexity and how to characterize the variational complexity using module envelope and coderivative. And finally, I will present our results about variational sufficiency in optimization. That all the things I will present today. First of all, I will move on to the first sections, that is local complexity reductions and variational complexity. I will recall the second order sufficient local optimality condition, which is well known result in the optimization, right? For f is C2 function and x bar is the stationary point, and we have this conditions is the sufficient condition, and it's equivalent to the local strong complexity of f around x bar. So this condition is very crucial because it is for the Newton methods or second order methods. So this condition is used to derive the local convergence and convergence rate of the Newton methods or other second order methods. Okay. So this condition is very important. This is because we have the hidden convexity in this condition. When we have this condition, so we have the local strong convexity around us, and when we have the local strong convexity, so we have a loss of important inequalities. And as you can see, when we have the strong convexity, not only that, we have the convex function right here, and this reduces to convex optimization. So we can use some algorithm to solve this problems. The natural question is, do we have such local complexity reduction in non-smooth optimization? Here we have the C2 smooth function, right? And the natural question is, if we replace the function f here is not C2 smooth, it's just non-smooth function. So we have do we have the local complexity like this? Do we have like this? So example here, we have the constraint optimization. For example here, so here is the nonlinear programming. So we have the problem like this with the equality constraint and the second order optimality condition like this. But in this case, we don't have any local convexities of the functions. The f0, we don't have the convexity of f0, we don't have the convexity of L or the function f0 plus to the indicators of the constraint. We don't have any local convexities of these functions, right? Another examples here we have related to the maximum monotone. Here is a theorem, it's very well-known theorem. For f is a convex if and only if we have the subgradient mapping is maximum monotone. The question is, what characterization can be given for the case in the case subgradient mapping is only locally, right? So do we have the similar characterization like this? The answer is yes in the smooth case. In the smooth case, we have f is convex around x part if and only if the gradient mapping is maximum monotone around x part. The question is, do we have this equivalent in the non-smooth case? The answer is no in general. Here is an example. For example, this function here is not locally convex, right? It's not locally convex around 0, but we have the subgradient mapping is locally maximum monotone around 0, 0 in the sense here. Okay? So that is two. So we have some question arise. The first question is, which properties is equivalent to the second order sufficient optimality condition in NLP or in non-smooth optimization? Okay, and the second one, which properties is equivalent to the local maximal monotonicities of the subgradient mappings? Okay, which one? So the answer is not the local convexity, as I showed you before, right? Local convexity is not enough to characterize these properties. So we need the property which is more subtle than local convexity. Okay? So the answer has been answered by Rockefeller, and this property is called variational convexity. So you can find the papers here about variational convexity and local monotonicity very recently in 2019 and 2022. Okay. Okay. So now I will show you some our results about the variational convexity using the tool of variational analysis. We will use two main tools. Here is the model envelope, and we will use co-derivative to characterize the variational convexity. Here's a regular normal cone. You can find these notions in the book of Modokovic and book of Rockefeller West. So you can find some notion here. For example, here's a regular normal cone, the limiting normal cone. When the set omega is convex, so the regular normal cone and the limiting normal cone are reduced to the convex normal cone in the convex analysis. And the regular co-derivative and limiting co-derivative can be defined based on the normal cone, regular normal cone and limiting normal cone respectively. In the case f is single value and differentiable, the mapping the co-derivative here reduced to the transpose of the Jacobian mapping. And for a subdifferential of function phi here is the extension of the gradient mapping. When phi is C1 smooth function, the subdifferential of phi reduced to the gradient mapping. So you can find more about the calculus rule of subdifferential and regular co-derivative, limiting co-derivative in the book of Professor Modu. Okay, here's the main tool we use in the talk is second order subdifferential. It's natural definition. For example, in the classical, when we define the second derivative, we define the derivative of derivative, right? Second order subdifferential defines like this. So we have the co-derivative of subdifferential. When phi is C2 smooth function, second order subdifferential reduced to the Hessian matrix. And one of the most crucial class in variational analysis is broad regular functions. This class of function introduced by Polikin and Rockefeller in 1996 in the paper Broad Regular Function in Variational Analysis. And this class is very broad, and this covers lots of important class like quickly convex function, lower C2 function, disqual linear quartic function. So lots of crucial class in variational analysis satisfy this broad regularity, and this property here is subdifferentially continuous. And when we have both properties, broad regular and subdifferentially continuous, we call this function as continuously broad regular. Okay, here is the class of function we will investigate in our talks. That is the variational convex functions. To define this, a function is called a variational convex function if we can find a function that is lower approximate of the function phi, and we have the subgradient is localization of subgradient of psi is localization of here. So you can see this is the condition to guarantee the variational convexity. Some first order characterization of variationally convex function can be found in the paper of Rockefeller, and some characterization by augmented Lagrangian function and quartic bundles can be found in the paper of Rockefeller in 2020. And some examples about this class of function can be found in our paper here. Some crucial example like the non-zero function, so it satisfies the variational convexity. This class is commonly used in the machine learning statistics. Okay, so here I will show you our main results using Moru envelopes. Okay. Here is the definitions of the Moru envelopes and proximal mappings. So you can find this notion in the book of Rockefeller and West variational analysis. So this class of function, this notion is very crucial in the variational analysis and optimizations. Okay. Here is our main results. Okay. As you can see now in the slide, if the function phi here is broad bounded, the standing assumption is lower semi-continuous and broad bounded function, and the variational convexity of the function is equivalent to the Moru envelope is locally convex around this point. That is the main result here. So this result is not important in optimization. We can use in the regarding the theoretical aspect. This theorem can be used to prove some important result like polaritic characterization, but it's also important in numerical optimization. Why? Here's the numerical aspect of this result. As you can see in the slide, if we have the function phi here, so we have the argmin of function phi is equal to argmin of the Moru envelope. So when we consider the problem minimi of function phi, it's not easy to solve because this function here is not smooth, non-convex, right? Not smooth, non-convex. But for the problem minimi envelope of phi, it's better. Why? Because we have the smoothness of the function envelope here. Not only this, we also have the convexities of the function envelope phi here. So when we have the convexity of this function, so we can use a lot of algorithms to solve it, like gradient descent methods. So we have proximal point methods, a lot of things, Newton methods. When we have a convexity, we can have a lot of crucial properties in this. And you can find more about the approach to change from the function phi to envelope phi in the paper of Boris Molokhin and Ephraim Sarabi in the generalized Newton algorithm. They use this trick, change from the phi to envelope phi to guarantee the convergence of Newton method. And in our paper, a general Newton method for subgradient system, we also use these properties to guarantee the convergence of the Newton method. And here we also have the characterization of variational strong convexity via Muriel law. Here we can characterize the variational strong convexity of the function we have modulus here. If the function phi variational strongly convex with the modulus here, we also have the strong convexity of the function angular phi with this modulus. Okay. And when we don't care about the modulus, we also have the characterization for the variational strongly convex. Now we move on to the next section, that is about the co-derivative based characterization of variational convexity. Okay. How to characterize the variational convexity based on the co-derivative. Why we need to do that? Why we need to care about the second order characterization? This is because, as you know, the second order subdifferential, here we have a lot of calculus rules. When we establish the second order characterization based on the second order subdifferential, so we can use the calculus rule to derive some characterization for a lot of classes of functions based on the calculus rule, like sum rule, chain rules. Here is our main result. If phi is a variationally convex function, it's equivalent to we will have the positive semi-definite of the second order subdifferential around the point x bar b1 in the set of 4. You can see that. The main idea to prove this result is use the characterization of the moral envelope, and we will change the function phi to the phi is variationally convex, equivalent to the envelope phi is locally convex, and after that we can use the second order characterization of convex functions, and now we can derive the condition for the strong convex variational strong convexity. We not only derive the neighborhood characterization, we can derive the point space characterization for the strong variational convexity. So you can see here, and you can find more about our proof in the paper here. We have a lot of approach to derive these results. Here we derived these results by using moral envelopes and the characterization of convex function. But we can derive these results using the approach based on the T-stable minimizers. We can use the T-stable minimizer characterization to derive these results. Here is another approach. It's independent with the approach based on the T-stable minimizer. Okay? Because we want to use the model envelope. Here we move on to the final section of my talk, that is variational sufficiency optimization. What is this? What is the variational sufficiency? So here we have some remark here. If the function, as you know in the classical analysis, if the function phi is convex, so if the x bar is stationary point, so it's equivalent to x bar will come to the minimizer, global minimizer. Similarly, in variational convexity, if the function phi is variationally convex, so the stationary point will become to the local minimizer. If the function phi is variationally convex, strongly convex, so the stationary point will become to the Q-stable local minimizer. So if we have the variational convexities of the stationary point, so we will get some important things. So this notion is very crucial. It is said that the variational sufficient condition for local optimality in this constraint optimization if we have the variational convexity or the variational strong convexity around at this point, at the stationary point. Okay. Why do we care about the variational sufficiency? Why do we care about this? So it's motivated by numerical methods. So here we have two popular methods. The first one is the first order methods. That is the proximal point methods. We can guarantee the convergence if we have the variational sufficiency at the solution, at the stationary point. If we have the stationary point here, we have the variational sufficiency, and we can guarantee the convergence. And we can achieve at least linear convergence if we have a strong variational sufficiency at the solution. For the generalized coderivative-based Newton methods, so we can achieve at least the superlinear convergence if we have the variational strong convexity at the solution. Here are some papers related to the proximal point methods and generalized Newton methods based on the coderivative. You can see here. Okay. So the question is, how to characterize the variational sufficiency for important classes of optimization problems, especially in composite optimization. And here is the class we consider. The function phi here is the sum of the function phi 0 and the sum of, and the function psi composed with the function g here. Okay? This class of function is very crucial because it's cover the nonlinear programming and it's cover a lot of problem in machine learning and statistics. Okay. So we need to characterize the variational sufficiency of this problem. So here, our 10 results. The first one, we obtain the characterization of variational sufficiency and strong variational sufficiency under the full rank condition of the Jacobian G. Okay. Here we need to calculate the second order subdifferential of phi, right? But if we focus on the second order subdifferential of phi, it's very difficult to calculate. So therefore, we need to calculate the second order subdifferential based on the information of phi 0 here, the function psi here, and the function g here. We need to explicit computation of second order subdifferential. So under the full rank condition, we can obtain the characterization. Without the full rank condition, we obtain the characterization if we have the second order qualification condition here. Okay. In the case of nonlinear programming, we also obtain the characterization of variational sufficiency because we proved that the linear independent constraint qualification (LICQ) is equivalent to the second order qualification condition. And therefore, we obtain the characterization of variational sufficiency under the LICQ condition. That's all the result we obtain. Regarding the future investigation, so we have 3 questions we want to investigate. The first one is numerical methods that benefit from the local convexity or local strong convexity of Moore envelopes. As you know, the function phi is variationally convex, so we have the envelope is convex function, right? It's locally convex function, so we need to use this property to derive some numerical methods. And the numerical method that benefit from the variational sufficiency and strong variational sufficiency in composite optimization. Okay. How to establish the algorithm to solve the composite optimization based on the variational sufficiency and strong variational sufficiency. And the final question is the graphical derivative characterization of variational strong convexity and convexity. And after that, we can apply to the NLP. As I showed you before, the second order subdifferential, we need to use the second order qualification condition, and this condition is strong. This condition is very strong. So in the case of NLP, we have LICQ equivalent to this, but the condition here is we want to get the condition weaker than this condition. Like for example, MFCQ or matrix subregularity constraint qualification condition. So the idea here, we cannot use the second order differential. So we need to use the graphical derivative to characterize, to derive the results with application to MLE. That order can we will investigate the future. Okay. Here are some references we use in our talk. Okay, thank you for your attention.
Any question for this?
I'm just curious, I mean, bringing up the future, so there are a bunch of distances.
For regular function, we exactly have the C11 smoothness of the envelope, right? And we can have also some numerical method for solving this function. But here we have the complexity from variation complexity, right? So we have more. I think it's more benefits, it's more advantages than we just have the C11 smoothness. Because we have some algorithm we just use for the complex optimizations.
It's just that other people should try to some cases.
Yeah, so in the some slide you mentioned about the connection between small variation in complexity and team stability. Right, really. So if you only have the one direction, you wouldn't have the opposite direction.
Yeah. In the lower semi-continuous function in general case, we don't have the converse duplication. As the stabilizer cannot imply the variation of complexity. If we have the condition of regularities of the function phi, we have equivalent.
But I think most of the times you need to suppose that props and regularity, right?
Yeah. But yeah, exactly. In the case of regularity, we don't have any difference between the very strong complexity and few stable recognizer. If the export is stationary, we don't have any difference.
Just another comment about what you say about the weaker condition for LICQ. You can use like the weaker ones. My previous maybe the most are the constant, right? Constant, right? And we have exactly some of those representations of T stability minus some kind of random terms you can go back with the operation.
That is the approach. I think this can be used this type of this stability characterization to characterize the variation capacity for NLP.
But I have one question. You were talking about the proximal methods, and you said that it implies the convergence. Linear convergence?
Yeah. Right.
Do we get convergence of the sequence or the sequence to distance of the solutions in this?
As I understand in the paper of Rockefeller, so we have the convergence of the sequence, iteration sequence. If we have the function phi is variationally converged at this point, at the solution point, and in the paper of Benanet, we also have the convergence of integrative sequence if we have the local maximum at the cost.
And then variational convexity, you said that it holds for the non-zero,
Yeah. In our paper, we investigate this function.
which is not a convex function.
It's not convex function. It's not.
Any other kinds of function you know that the local convexity runs?
It's not local convex function. It's variationally convex.
Oh, sorry, variational convexity.
Yeah. Also have the log function. It's used on the penalty function in machine learning. So we also present two classes of functions in our paper. Yes.
So let's thank the speaker again.